So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can take a video file, upload it to this Gumloop AI automation. I'm going to hit submit and run flow here. And you can see my Airtable database right now is empty. Look how fast that happened. So it's going to take my TikTok video that I upload and instantly generate a title, a LinkedIn thread, a Twitter thread, a YouTube description, and a TikTok caption. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can create this workflow yourself and Gumloop. And we're going to be showcasing a very, very powerful tool that I don't see many other of these AI automation builders have. And it's this analyze video node. Okay. And what this is going to do, it's going to take a raw video file and watch the video using Gemini 2.0 Flash. And then what we're going to do is feed it to all of these AI agents, these AI writers, to help us create the content. Okay, so let's do a quick overview of the flow, and then we can build it out step by step. So I'm using one of Gumloop's really cool features, which is an interface at the beginning. So instead of just working in the flow itself, in the canvas itself, we can build these mini landing pages. Okay, so when I refresh this, we can start the flow from a really nice looking landing page. Okay, so what I do here, instead of an automation where I maybe drag something into Google Drive off screen, I just drag a video right onto my interface here. Then all I have to hit is submit and run flow, and we're off to the races. So I'll show you how to set up that interface. It's one of the most powerful features with Gumloop. Okay, then we're going to use the analyze video node that I talked about before. It's using Gemini Flash 2.0 to actually watch the video. Okay, so there's no need here like you would have to do maybe in make.com to set up separate modules where you have to download the video, upload it to a transcript, then download the transcript, then feed the transcript to an AI. This is a really, really powerful feature inside of Gumloop, and we're going to be taking advantage of it. Then we're going to take the output, and we have a prompt here for the analyze video node, and we're going to take the output and feed it to all of our AI agents over here. So you can see I have an Ask AI agent to come up with a video title, a YouTube description, an X thread, a LinkedIn. I don't know what they call it on LinkedIn. I don't use LinkedIn, but a LinkedIn post, and then a TikTok caption, all with their own prompts that are pretty much the same, but just tailored to the specific platform. So the video analyzer is going to feed the output to each of these writer agents. And then we're going to take all of the output and plug it into an Airtable database. So now we can keep track and have an inventory of all of this content, right? This content pipeline. So anytime you film a video, whether it's for YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, you can upload it to your interface, and all of the output will be generated right into Airtable. So you can come in here. You're going to want to edit this, obviously, before posting it, but it's all here in your database. If you ever want to come back to it, it's saved here. All right, so let's start building this out from scratch. So the first thing we're going to want to add, at least in my example here, is that really nice interface that you can share with other people. And it's just a much more user-friendly way of interacting with your automations that's really unique to Gumloop. So we can do that easily just by hitting this add interface button up here. And then I'm going to go into edit interface, and it's going to give me a screen that looks like this. So we can do a couple of things here. First thing I want to do is give this a title, right? So if someone that you're sharing this with has an idea of what it does. So in my example, I called it the video to social media posts writer. Okay, so just give it a title. You can give it a description if you want, maybe something like this, right? So this workflow takes your raw video files, transcribes them automatically, and then generates captions and descriptions for social media platforms. Again, the idea behind an interface, so you can use it obviously, but you can share this with people on your team, maybe clients of yours, and it just gives it a really smooth looking way to start the automation. And again, if you're giving it to someone who's never used it before, this is where you can use the description and the title to make sure that they know how to use it. Now, the next thing that we can do is add the elements to get started here. So there's a lot of different inputs that we can use. This is very simple. We're just doing a simple file upload. So again, the flow starts when I drag a video file onto the canvas. So I'm just going to drag this file upload onto the canvas right here. And then you want to give it a descriptive name, maybe video file. Okay, so we're building this out right now, and you can see it gives you the pick a file to upload or drag and drop interface, and you can always preview these. We don't have a header or an icon, so there's not much there. So we can give it a header image as well. So you can upload some of these from the gallery. You can upload your own images if you want. You can generate with AI. So I can say something like, this is a workflow that takes your video files, transcribes them, and then generates captions for social media. And then I'm going to hit generate. Again, this is not a big deal. You can use whatever header image you want. You don't have to use a header image. I think it's nice to, when you're actually using it, to look at something that looks nice. So it's going to generate an AI image. I'm going to accept it no matter what the image is, just so we get our header image. All right, so you can see it came up with a pretty nice graphic here on posting stuff to social. So I'm going to do that as the banner. You can do an icon if you want. So if we did maybe pencil or maybe that. So whatever icon you want, again, doesn't really matter. So we're going to preview this. And so we've got our header image, our icon, our title, our description, and most importantly, we've got our input, which is going to be, again, the file upload. And then I'm just going to hit return to workflow. And now we've got the first part of our automation set. All right, next, we need to feed that video file into the Analyze Video node from Gumloop. So Gumloop has a lot of AI nodes here. And if you go down here to the Analyze Video, this is the one that we want. Okay, so it's going to use Gemini Flash to literally watch the video and then tell us what it's about. It's a really powerful node that I love about Gumloop, and it's super easy to set up. So I'm just going to drag this below, and let me just zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so we're going to take the video file, and we're going to output from the interface, meaning the one that we upload, and then we're going to drag that to the input for the Analyze Video. So that's the video that will be analyzed, okay? Now, what we need to select next, or what we need to do next, is give it a prompt, all right? Now, again, in this pipeline, what we're doing is we're taking a TikTok video or a YouTube video, and we want to basically transcribe it in order to feed to our AI writers. Okay, so I have a prompt on my clipboard, and I'll talk through it a little bit. I think I have it on my clipboard. Yes. All right, so here's the prompt, and I came up with this with the help of ChatGPT. So I'm asking it to create a time-stamped transcript from the provided video, include only the spoken content, capture it accurately, format it with timestamps. Do not summarize, paraphrase, or add commentary. Just describe the audio verbatim. Ensure the output is clear, easy to follow, so on and so forth, okay? Because Gemini is going to watch the video, and what are we trying to get out of the video? Well, I'm asking it for a transcript, okay? So once you have that set up, we're good with the Analyze Video node. All right, so now that we will have our transcript outputted from this node, what we want to do next is have our Ask AI agents create the content for each platform, okay? And actually what I'm going to start off with is not the content, but a title. So I'm going to go into the node library here, and I'm just going to use an Ask AI agent. So it's basically prompting an AI agent using natural language. Okay, so I'm going to drag this down about over here, and I'm going to take the analysis, which is really just going to be our time-stamped transcript, drag that into the context. Okay, so this is the context with which this Ask AI node, and I'm going to rename this to title generator so we have a more specific title. So now it has the context, which is the transcript. And again, did I remember to paste the prompt? Okay, so here's the prompt. And again, you can prompt it however you want. We're just trying to get a title out of this just because I like my Airtables, all of my videos to have titles. So it's just prompting it. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm asking it to transform this into a compelling, non-spammy YouTube title. I'm using YouTube in the example. Keep it concise, bold, and optimized to grab attention. Again, ChatGPT helped me with this prompt, but you can use whatever prompt you want. And again, the idea here is just to get a title out of this. This prompt is probably a little bit too much, but it works for now. All right, so next I want it to create a description for a YouTube video. And we're just going to use the Ask AI nodes for all of these descriptions or all of these writing tasks. So we can just duplicate one after the other. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to rename it to YouTube description. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take that analysis and feed it into the context, just like that. Okay, so now this AI writer will also have the context and the prompts, which I have on my clipboard here. Again, use ChatGPT to help you out here. So I'm asking for a detailed YouTube video description based on the content, 200 to 300 words, and a lot more information that ChatGPT gave me for the prompt. Again, I'll stress that you can play with these prompts as much as you want. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was the model. I'm not going to use Haiku. I'm going to use GPT-4o Mini for all of these. It's cheap and it's pretty good. All right, so we've got our title generator. We've got our YouTube description. Now let's keep going. All right, so the next one we're going to do is a X thread. So let me duplicate this, rename it, call this Twitter. I still call it Twitter sometimes, Twitter X. Take the analysis output, again, from the video AI, drag it to context, and I'm going to paste in my prompt here. So I'm basically just asking, oops, I just deleted something by mistake. Let me zoom in here. Transform this into an engaging Twitter thread. Keep each tweet concise, and we're going to do 3 to 5 tweets in the thread. So we've got the Twitter writer set up here. We've got the video transcripts feeding into the context. So let's set up LinkedIn next. So again, I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to add the analysis to the context, rename this to LinkedIn, and then paste in my prompt right here. So again, most of these prompts are pretty much the same. ChatGPT just tailored them for the specific platforms. So again, I'm not going to read all of these prompts, but I think you get the idea here. All right, finally, our last writer here, AI writer here, we are going to go with a TikTok description. So just that little text or caption, I think is the right word. So again, I'm going to drag the analysis over to the context, rename this to TikTok, and then change the prompt. I'm going to call that a TikTok caption. So I'm doing keep it in short, 50 to 80 characters. All right, so these all look great. We have got all of our little AI agent writers here. Each has their own job, okay? They're going to take the output from the analyze video agent, and they're going to use that as context to create all of our content for the different social platforms. All right, just real quick on the Airtable setup. This is a very basic Airtable table, so I'm not going to go too deep into the setup here, but you can see these are, I have a column here for video title, okay, and this is a single line text, and then the rest of these, Okay, so we've got LinkedIn. These are long text fields, all right? So one for LinkedIn, one for Twitter, one for YouTube, one for TikTok. And you just have to create one. And if you want, you can duplicate it just like that. Go to edit field, change the name, right? And that's how quickly you can do this. So I'm not going to keep that copy. But the idea is you want to get your Airtable database set up just with these columns, at least in this example, because we're going to be taking the AI agent output. Okay, so all of these content platform writers, they're going to generate responses, and we want to feed it into our Airtable database here. So you want to make sure that your columns, all right, all match our outputs, right? Title, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Okay, again, super easy to set up in Airtable. All right, so back into Gumloop. The next thing that we need to do is add an Airtable writer. Okay, so it's going to write to our existing database here. So let me drag that on here. Just zoom in a little bit. All right, so it's got 4 of the columns up there right now. I'm just going to refresh the base and refresh the table. So obviously you have to set this up inside of Gumloop. If you go to your home and you go to your settings and then go to credentials, you're able to add a credential like this. So you want to add your Airtable database. It's really, really easy to do. And once you have that connected to Gumloop, when you add an Airtable node like this, you're going to be able to select the base, the table, and then the columns itself. So let me refresh these columns. Sometimes it can be a little, I don't want to say buggy, but let's see if it will show all 5. Let's see if I do TikTok there. All right, that worked, right? So the idea here is we need all of the inputs available, right, at the top of this Airtable node, because we need to write all of them, right? We have 5 outputs coming from our AI agents, which means we need 5 inputs in Airtable. Now, when I first loaded this Airtable writer, for some reason, only 4 of them were showing up here. So what I did was I refreshed the columns, and then I went to the dropdown, and I was missing TikTok. So I just added TikTok to the column here. And then for writer mode, what we want to do is add a single new row, okay, which is going to add a single new row as opposed to adding multiple rows. So make sure that's selected as well. And now all you have to do is, again, drag the outputs to the respective field. So I think we have this in order. Well, no, we don't, but it's okay. I've got the title generator output. So I'm going to drag that over to video title. Now I've got YouTube. I'm going to drag that over to the YouTube input. All right. We've got Twitter X over here. I'm going to drag that to Twitter. LinkedIn is going to go to LinkedIn. And then finally, TikTok is going to go to TikTok. All right. So this is set up now where all of the output from our Ask AI agents is going to be written into our Airtable database up here into these fields. All right. So right now, our automation looks pretty good. Again, you can always, and I should have been saving this along the way. Make sure to be saving. And I should have mentioned this at the beginning. I always forget. You can run this whenever you want in order to test it. And truthfully, you should be running it after every step. I just don't want you guys watching me hit run. But after every node, you can run it to make sure it's working well. I just don't do it so I can speed up the videos for you guys. All right, so this looks pretty good. Now, in order to actually test this, what we can do is go up to the interface. You know, we can do this a couple ways. You could do it through edit interface or hit the share button. All right, I'm going to copy that interface link. There really should be a way to just kind of pop this out. So let me open up our new interface here. All right, so again, this is, I don't know if it's unique to Gumloop. If any of the other no-code automation builders do this, I haven't seen it anywhere else. I think it's a really great idea. Again, people who don't want to look at a screen like this with all of these nodes, right? If it's someone on your team or a client, just send them this. So it's really, really cool. So here's the interface, okay? So again, it's super easy. I think I lost track of my download over here. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab that file. Okay, so this is just a brief TikTok that I did the other day. I'm gonna drag it off my screen onto my screen here. All right, so it's gonna take a second to kind of ingest the file, and maybe I should have tested this along the way. I have not tested the reflow here. All right, so we can see the file is loaded. When I go into my content pipeline, I've cleared it out. It's completely blank. So I'm gonna hit submit and run flow. Sometimes it takes 2 minutes. Sometimes it takes 5 seconds. I don't know if they're caching it. 4.2 seconds. All right, let's say, moment of truth. There we go. Into Airtable. So we've got the title, effortlessly schedule meetings with Slack. Oh, this is the Slack video that I did. Unlike time-saving hacks. All right, way too spammy for me. Again, you could adjust the prompts to make the language sound more like you. LinkedIn, let's see what our LinkedIn post looks like. Are you still manually sending calendar invites? It's time to elevate your scheduling game in an age where efficiency is key. All right, this looks very LinkedIn. Let's go to X. Did it do an actual thread? Let's see. No, it did not do the Twitter thread. We can check that. It's taken the transcript. It should have written this out as a thread. So maybe my prompt was not great there. YouTube description. All right, it took, did I use the YouTube prompt instead? Here's the YouTube description. This looks good. It's got all the timestamps here. And then TikTok, we're just looking for a very brief caption. Okay, so I was just trying to troubleshoot the Twitter output because that's the only one that really was not on point. The prompt is okay. I'm sure I could be a little more forceful and specific in the prompt. So just another reminder, the prompt is really important when you're trying to get the output that you're looking for. Again, this is all AI output. I highly recommend editing it, putting it in your voice. So I would play around with that Twitter prompt. It did work before for this. For some reason, this one didn't come out like a Twitter thread. All the other ones, however, came out really well. And hopefully this gives you an idea of the things that you can build with this node, right? This analyze video node. I want to emphasize how Gumloop has really streamlined this part of a workflow. Again, in some of these other automation tools, when you're handling video, you have to download it to Google Drive, upload it, put it in a transcription service, send it to ChatGPT Whisper just to get the transcript. It's like 4 steps. Gumloop is using Gemini Flash. We literally have to drop in a file into our interface, and that's it, right? It's going to do all the processing in 1 step, send it off to our agents here to create all the content. And now we have it in Airtable. We can come back to it, we can edit it, and we can post it on social. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this automation. Let me know what you want to see next. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.